not, what more can we do to let you know that we do?
Thank you again. Thank you. Thank you. That touches me more than you can know, because an actor's life is essentially a lonely one. Actors have to leave. First of all, actors have to be self-centered and think about themselves, because they're about to be in front of 6,000 people, and how do they look, and what are they doing, and what are the lines, and what. So there's a self-centeredness which results in a loneliness, and celebrity increases that, so that you're apart from a lot of people, because people think you're different, and it's not that you're different; they act towards you differently. So to think of friendship and love, I write about friendship in Leonard, how difficult it is to make a friend, how men find it difficult to make a friend, and especially me, how difficult it was during my youth and early years to make a friend, the kind of friend that Leonard was, and that you saw, the laughter and the ease, Leonard and I had so many things in common, from our backgrounds to the way we were brought up, to our families, to our births and deaths and divorces and children. And we shared so much, and then we were thrust into each other's company. So I had a friend for a while. And it's very, very difficult for anybody to make a true friend. It's harder for an actor, and it's harder for a male actor, and it was harder for me. So for you to say that there is love in this room for me touches my very soul, and I thank you for that. That's it. You know, yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Hello, so my family and I, we went to the Hollywood Charity Horse Show. We saw you, you're amazing. We love Star Trek, Twilight Zone, DJ Hooker. And what I'd like to ask you is, have you heard of / played Pokemon Go?
Of course, I play it all the time. Why do you ask?
What level are you?
About that level. What level are you?
Like 2.
Well, 2 is quite high. Do you walk? Is that your father behind you? Yeah, I thought so, because he's making all kinds of gestures towards you. But you're doing beautifully. So you want to know what level of Pokemon Go I'm in, right? Mike, I hope this doesn't disappoint you, but I've got a granddaughter.
Yeah?
You good with that? I mean, Captain Kirk has a granddaughter. And she plays Pokemon Go, and she was showing me how it works. And it occupies all your attention. Okay?
Yeah.
Do you like to read?
Yeah.
Do you read?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yes.
I mean, read a book?
Yes.
I don't mean comics. Do you read a book?
Yeah.
No, I'm not putting you down. But you tell me your name.
Christian?
Fisher?
Christian.
Christian. How old are you?
12.
All right. 12. Perfect. 12. You should be beginning to enjoy books. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Your dad behind you, I can feel his very thoughts. Play Pokemon Go. Do it.
My pet dad.
Read a book. Read a book on father. Read a book on how to handle your father. There's books that exist for 12-year-olds, how to handle your father. I'm sure there are. Read a book while playing Pokemon Go. You got it? Multitask. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, good.
Hi.
So you appeared in the movie Fanboys, and throughout that, like in parts of that movie, there's like this intense rivalry between Star Wars and Star Trek, and I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts on the whole Star Wars versus Star Trek thing?
On the Star Wars, Star Trek thing? Star Wars versus Star Trek. You know, I'm going to treat that seriously. Well, usually, Star Wars, But that's an interesting thought. Star Wars. First of all, Star Wars created Star Trek. You don't know that. What? Yes. I've heard someone say, what? I'm going to tell you how. So Star Trek, the Star Trek I was in lasted 3 years. It was canceled. It was gone. It was in the top 40 popular shows, and every year there was the threat to be canceled. And the third year they canceled it, and everybody accepted it. We were on the verge, on the margin every year, and the third year the ratings went down a little, and they canceled, and we were history. 6 years later, I think it was 6 or 7 years later, something called Star Wars, done by George Lucas, who was a fan of Star Trek, explodes in the American public. And you could hear the people at Paramount Studios as against, what was George's studio? 20th Century Fox. So at another studio, George was working at another studio. At Paramount Studios, they were running around, bumping into each other. What do we got? What do we got that can equal Star Wars? It's a big thing. It's making billions of dollars. There's this thing that we canceled under another management. It was called Star Trek. Let's resurrect that. And they started running around, and we make a new series, and we do a movie of the week. Let's make a movie! And we'll get Robert Wise, one of the biggest directors in Hollywood at that time, to direct it. We'll make a big movie. We'll equal Star Wars. And Bob Wise, who was one of the great directors, is brought in. He's there because his wife said, Bob, I married you. I can't believe I married you. You don't know what Star Trek is? I love Star Trek. Go do it. And he's urged by his wife to go do Star Trek. So he does Star Trek. Star Trek was done so easily that the special effects that were put in, that a director looks at the special effects, the special effects guy is doing as much as possible. It's my special effects. But you need a director to say, nah, too much, got there, put that, and edit. There was no time to edit. That film, they talk about film arriving wet. We were in Washington, D.C. for the premiere of the movie, and the guy was coming in, running into the theater with a film clutched under his arm. There had been no time to edit the special effects, so the movie was flawed and didn't make much money. Paramount said, well, I guess we're not going to. And the head of Paramount Studios, what's his name, the guy? No, before Mancuso. And the guy who owned Paramount, his wife said, you can't cancel. You got to make more movies, and we went on to make more movies cheaper. But it was Star Wars that thrust Star Trek into the people at Paramount's consciousness. Okay? Well said. Star Trek, at its best, tells human stories, philosophical. There's humanity. There's something girding underneath the story. There's a principle involved, and it's well done. It's about people. Star Wars was grand. It was like opera, and it was huge, and it had great special effects, and it was a marvelously entertaining film, but wasn't specifically about people the way those Star Treks were. Okay? All right. We have to We're overtime. What can I say? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Willian Shatner.